Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. From time to time, I get requests as far as doing certain videos for subscribers, and I have no problem with that. I enjoy sharing information, because I was fortunate enough when I was younger that people shared information with me. So the question reads, hey Morris Man, can you do a video on how you set your amp controls and guitar controls? I have a lot of high-end equipment and my tone still does not sound as good as yours. Thank you in advance. Any advice? Okay. Let me see how to tackle this question. First of all, I've always been a tone freak. My stuff has always have to sound good. Even when I first started playing, I'm like, it just got to sound good because the stuff that I heard on the radio blew me away. I'm like, I'm trying to get as close to a tone and sound as possible as what I hear, so I spend a lot of time trying to emulate, great tones. And I don't think there's no trick as far as settings or anything on that because I don't even use an amp when I do my covers. I've only used the amp one time at almost 4,000 covers. That was just one time. But what I do is I just go through a preamp because many years ago, my keyboard player turned me on to the preamps. Because at first I was just using little small stomp boxes, connected to the amplifier. But then when I went into the studio, I would use preamps as opposed to stomp pedals. And the first preamp that my keyboard player turned me on to is the Dodd FX7. To this day, I still use it when I can find one. Because, of course, they've since been discontinued. And I remember he let me borrow it. And I said, man, sell this to me, man, because this thing sounds good. Because I didn't have to hook it into an amp. I just plugged my guitar into it and then got headphones built in. I'm like, I'm playing away at 2:30 in the morning. He's like, I can't sell it to you. So I found some on eBay and actually about like 3 at a time. Because I normally have at least 2 on hand at any given time. At one time I had 4, because I was able to get good prices since they were discontinued. But I never use an amp doing my covers. Basically, I use a preamp. And like I said, the Dodd FX7, and it's a much older unit, and it's hard to find them, and now when you find them, they're not in good condition. So I said to myself, I have to find another one, that will kind of be the predecessor to, the one that I have. And what I use on just about all of my covers now is the Digitech Genesis 3. So it's a pretty good follow-up preamp to what I use. But as far as getting a good tone, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, because each person have a different answer to this specific question, it's your guitar. You don't have to spend, but it's the marketing that they want you to say in order to get a good toning guitar, you go out and spend $2,000-$3,000 on Les Pauls and American-made Strats. They do sound good, they should as far as how much you're paying. But years ago, I found a guitar company by the name of Jay Terza. Jay Terza matches up and stand toe to toe to any other guitar maker I've ever played guitars, whether they Gibsons, whether they Fenders, whether they Ibanez. They hold their own. And what's really interesting about Jay Terza, they're very inexpensive. My very first Jay Terza guitar, and it sounded good, I paid $60 for, okay? $60. The last one I paid, cost me about maybe $150, but it was worth it. But the bottom line is, just pick a good guitar with a good tone. Go to the music store and just sit down and just play. And what sounds good to your ear, because everybody's interpretation of what sounds good is going to be totally different. Different people like different tones. No two people play the same. No two people guitars sound the same. And what's interesting is you can have the same guitar and have 2 different guys play it, and believe it or not, it's going to sound different. Because I remember many years ago, I was selling this Fender Stratocaster. And it had a pretty good tone, but the problem I had with it was the guy that sold it to me must have set it in the basement and invited over 2,000 people to smoke cigarettes in that basement every day. Now, I'm exaggerating. That guitar reeked of tobacco. I tried everything, lemon oil, wiping it down, and the sound kind of the smell will kind of go away a little bit or tone down, but then 2 days later it's back up there because he got into the wood. So I ended up literally giving that guitar away. Actually, I gave it away. And the guy that came over to play it, when he was playing, I said, man, this guitar sounds different from when I play it, you know? So that was the first time I kind of made that connection that no two people sound the same guitar, two different tones. But again, the bottom line or the answer to that question is just go find a guitar that sounds good to you. And what's important too is strings. You know, I play the lightest gauge, 08s and maybe 9s. I don't bother 10s, 11s, or 12s. It's too thick for me. And I like bending my notes, and I like that slinky feel and loose tension on my strings. And the Fender Stratocasters, for many years, I couldn't understand why they hurt in my hands, because the way that those guitars are built, I don't know what it is, but the strings have extremely amount of tension on them where they can't move and bend. You know, even when you got 8s on there, it just, but when with J Tersters, slinky all day long, you know. And I should have brought it in here, but you guys see me play that Powder Blue guitar. It's the Bluescaster. I paid about $120 for that guitar. It sounds good. It feels good. The action of that thing is incredible. The lack of tension on the strings is there. It's loose. You know, I can bend them. I can play for hours, and my hands don't cramp up. But strings play a very important part, and I use Fender guitar strings, and I think D'Angelo's, I believe, something like that. And I think another one that I use. Yeah, those two. So strings are really important. You know, the lighter gauge to me feels better. They have tendency to be a little bit brighter because you want it to be bright, because once you finish the recording process, you're going to lose some of your tone anyway. You know, so if it's really bright, you're going to lose a little bit of your tone, but you're still going to have that really crisp, brilliant, sharp sound, you know. Because again, no two people play the same, and no two people's ears are the same. Some people kind of like they sound to be a little thin and no bottom or body to it. You know, for me, I want a little bit of both. I want some really high-end crisp sound, but I want some bottom to my guitar too, instead of sounding really twangy or really low end to it. You know, so I'm going to end this video now, but I hope this was helpful to you, Joe. It's the guitar. It's the strings in the guitar, you know, because, you know, this is secondary. I mean, this does help, but if you don't have a really good sounding guitar from the beginning, it's not going to sound too much better coming out of here. But I use a preamp. You know, it's not about me certain, you know, adjustments on my amp or even certain adjustments on here. It's just basically real simple. Tune it to where you like it, you know. Till next time, take care and thanks for watching.